Welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion, episode number 293. My name is Brando, and today I wish I was there. I've never been to Las Vegas, Philip or Mike. I've never been there. I'm not a gambling person, but still, it's Vegas. You got to go. So we're gonna review Vegas today. So we'll just do it in order of the people who volunteered. I hope you guys understand. As I've put out there, as we do these review episodes, I mean, I've been blown away, really, of just people reaching out to me, whether it's any of the social media, any of the email, just saying, "Hey, I'd like to talk about this episode," and fans that I've never heard of, from before, which always makes me feel good. Makes me, and I tweeted this on the new Twitter at the AFD podcast. Got to put that out there. You, the new listener, the ones I just find out about, mean as much as the ones that have been there since day one. So it's humbling. So I appreciate it. So Michael Duvall, I appreciate. So I don't know if your name is French, but I wanted to pronounce it with an accent.
It's all good.
I'm not dyslexic, so I can't read your background. Oh, is that the set list behind you?
Yeah, with the lithograph.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So you know what? That's a good spoiler alert, as I've been yelled at many times by my former friend. Former co-host, current friend, Ian Scotto. I hope that wasn't a Freudian slip. He gets mad when I tweet the set list, and maybe we'll. So spoiler, we're not going to go like song by song the set list today as we review, but if there's spoilers, just be aware. Ian, be aware if you're watching this episode. So Michael reached out to me on Facebook. What's your shirt, man? It's like old school Chinese era.
Yeah, it's Chinese democracy. Yeah.
Nice. I have behind me, I'm afraid to knock anything over, but it's that, I don't know, that lion guy.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can move my mic. That lion kind of guy.
Oh yeah, nice.
It was old t-shirt. It was the old t-shirt, but I cut it off and I put it on the back of a denim jacket because I'm a poser. But also the shirt didn't fit. So I was like, let me try something with this.
That's a backpack. That's good, man.
Thank you. And also, who reached out to me as we were recording this, I'm going to put it out the same day. So today is the last day of August. Wow. So Philip, excuse me if I mispronounce it, Zhang?
Yep, you got it.
Very cool. So Philip Zhang reached out to me yesterday on Instagram with your very delicious amount of followers. And I don't say that as a creep. You're a food guy. So you're like, you probably have you're probably going to do an episode. You already did already. I'm like, you know what? Hop on with Mike. Let's do this. And because you seem really eager to talk about GNR. And that's a lot of the points of why I do these review episodes, not just to talk about the shows, but to give the fan experience.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to be on. Guns N' Roses is my favorite band of all time. And my circle of friends and even my wife, like I never talk about Guns N' Roses with anybody. So this is a real treat. And shout out to my brother Austin for turning me on to this podcast in the first place. And I love it. I love your work, and I'm super happy to be on.
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that. That's something I don't ask too often, is how you find us, how you find the podcast, because that's as someone who comes from traditional radio, if you want to call it that, I guess, FM. I'm like, how do you find a podcast? That's why I told Ian at the beginning, I thought it was stupid. Like, who would care? Like, why would people listen to this Guns N' Roses themed podcast? And I find myself, Ian, wanting to come on and be a guest now and doing it. And I was telling you guys beforehand, this helps me too, doing this. This makes me happy. It's not just talking to rock stars. And before it gets lost, we'll have to talk about some upcoming rock star interviews before we go into the Vegas thing. It's talking to you guys on social media, on here. I mean, yeah, I talked to my fiance about Guns N' Roses now, but if you know the podcast, she's leaving. I gotta wake up. So tomorrow is Wednesday. I probably gotta wake up. I wake up early sometimes for the morning show, like I did on Monday at 3 a.m. But for her, I gotta drive her to the airport, be there at like 5 a.m. because she's going to Seattle to go see Dave Matthews for 3 days, or she's leaving for a week. That she's going to explore, but she's going to see Dave Matthews for 3 days in a row. This is a thing that's happening. So I
Did you see Dave Matthews yet?
I half saw him. It was before the pandemic, and it was at Jones Beach. if you're familiar with that venue on Long Island, right on the beach, obviously. And it was like a monsoon. And after 8 songs, they called it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was ready to go home. I got it. I understand what Dave was about. I don't
You get a
think he's
partial
already.
refund at least, or
What's that, Mike?
you get a partial refund at least? Did you get the whole set?
They would give you, so they, for the makeup date, and I couldn't make the makeup date, so
Oh.
she just gave it to one of her friends because I'm like, but I'm gonna have to go again this year, and I'm gonna wear again also my Guns N' Roses shirt, which is what I did last time. I gotta find. Sorry to keep going on tangents, but I saw one other guy with the Guns N' Roses shirt at Dave Matthews, and he was like some 70-year-old dude. So it's see Phil and Mike. That's why I need you to come on this podcast. I don't have anyone to talk about it with. So thank you for reaching out. So before again we go into all your stuff and Vegas, Matt Sorum, the interview that I was going to have on the 6th is postponed. TBD, to be decided. It's just going to happen. I mean, the guy's got a newborn. We'll see what happens. So it's postponed, is not canceled. I mean, he's people making jokes online, like, you know, because me and my issues with trying to get GNR interviews. No. This is it's just being postponed. It's just one of those, and that's why I don't like announcing them beforehand. There's part of me that doesn't, but I wouldn't get questions. I wouldn't make you a part of the interview. I wouldn't get you guys to be co-hosts for episodes like Brain or Tommy Stinson and things like that. So that's why, I mean, you see it all the time on those nightly shows, to Tonight Show, any of those. They announce the week of guests. So it happens. I'm a little bummed, but as soon as I know, you'll know, as the kids say. But what I do know, Jerry Cantrell, I had confirmation. I spoke to the publicist yesterday. We had confirmation. I mean, as Axel says, nothing is confirmed but his love of Taco Bell, as he tweeted famously. But so, because things happen, yeah. But all intents and purposes, yeah, we'll all be talking to Jerry Cantrell on the phone for like 20, 30 minutes tomorrow. But that is then. This is now. I've never been to Vegas. Closest I've been is my brother Cameron buying me an official Las Vegas Golden Knights T-shirt on the Strip and bringing it home for me. That's it. So who's actually from? No, neither of you are from Vegas. So obviously you guys don't know each other. I love that part of it. I want to get your both different perspectives. So Michael, first, where were your seats? Actually, you know what? Where are you coming? Sorry, where did you come from? Because neither of you.
El Paso, Texas, right now. I'm from DC, but live in El Paso.
Okay.
Been here for about 7 years.
How far is El Paso from Vegas?
Well, it's like an hour and a half flight, but driving wise, probably closer to like. I've never driven it. It's like an hour and a half, hour 40-minute flight.
Okay. And was that the furthest you've traveled for GNR?
No, I did SoCal. I did LA and San Diego, and I drove 10 hours once. I drove El Paso to Denver, Colorado, and I also drove El Paso to San Antonio for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, all right. You're a seasoned
my
veteran.
My very first one was in 2012. I was a late concert goer for GNR, but I flew from El Paso. My family is in Virginia still, so I flew to Virginia. I know I saw them in Silver Spring, Maryland, at the Up Close and Personal tour in 2012. So I guess that was the furthest flight was.
Still, you've still gotten around. I guess I'll put it like that. That I find interesting. I saw that Rare tour in 2002 before it was canceled. But for the fans that have seen them for the Up Close and Personal tour, there's something about the bond between the fans and the band at that time. You know, I guess hence the name of the tour, that they've just seen so many shows to make up, like for all this, you know, the pre-GNR or, you know, breakup. Like it just seems like, so it's very cool. So yeah, I want to get your concert history and then see where this Vegas show ranked for you. But Philip, you're not from Vegas, but you live in Vegas now.
Yeah. So I grew up in Boston. That's where I became GNR, became my favorite band, listening to WAAF and all that stuff. And yeah, my first show changed my life, December 6th, 1991. It was Gilby's second show. First time they played Breakdown, and it just, I've been a fan ever since.
Well, that's cool. You must have liked the Mistress Carrie episode when we had her.
Yes, I did. Yeah, great throwback, and I love that.
Boston, yeah. Despite your baseball team, it's a great town.
And then I also saw them in '93 on St. Patty's Day in Boston Garden. And then it wasn't until 2002, I think we were the same show, Brando, the MSG show.
Oh, you were
that
there.
I saw them again. Yeah.
Where were
So
you for that show? Where were your seats?
I was on the floor, kind of in the back.
So was I.
Yeah, stage left. Yeah.
We probably sat next to each other, or the only person I remember, he looked like, I don't know if you guys are It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans, but you know, when Charlie Day, he dresses up like an American badass with the all denim, and he has the American flag, bandana. I guess I remember somebody looking like that, being like, "Rocket Queen, I'm gonna cry. It's my favorite song." That's what I remember.
I wish that were me. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Awesome. So you know what? So Phil, since you've given us your itinerary of GNR shows, Michael, you said your first one was the Up Close and Personal. What other shows have you been to?
Okay, I did that one. And then number 2 was Arizona 2016, the first leg. 2017 was an awesome year for me because I drove to Denver, of course, the local one here in El Paso. That was 10 minutes down the street. That was awesome. And then I drove to San Antonio the 2 days later for that one. And I'm divorced. My kids live in San Diego. So it lined up perfectly, whereas I was visiting for Thanksgiving. So I surprised them, took them to GNR on Friday at the Staples Center. I took them back Sunday. I hung out a couple of days. I saw Steel Panther at the Roxy on Monday, and then GNR Tuesday at San Diego, and then Wednesday at the Forum, the last 2 shows of the third US leg of the tour.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. Of course,
like
I didn't tell my ex I was taking the kids. I didn't tell her. I let them tell her afterwards. She got all crappy at me. It was a good experience.
But what a cool moment to see it with your kids. I mean,
Yeah, it was experience-wise, it was awesome. I mean, our seats were high. We were high up because it was 3 of us. So, I mean, it was pricey, but it was awesome.
How old were they at the time?
Was it 9 and 11?
Nice. Good
Yeah.
ages. I like
Yeah.
that. And I also,
I
by the
got here most at hearing protection. So I mean, I did my due diligence all the night before. Hey guys, am I bad to have to do? It's like, no, just get hearing protection. Everyone's giving me advice. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. Cool.
right on. Right. And for those that aren't watching the episode on Zoom, I want to, put respect to your Axl Rose porn mustache. I like it very much.
Thank you, sir.
No, you rock it. I do
Very
mean
cool.
that from the heart.
Thank
So
you.
then we know you're welcome. So we know Mike had some traveling to do. Phil, you being from Vegas, how far did you have to go to get?
I
to,
live maybe 12 minutes from the stadium.
Nice.
So yeah. And then sorry, I just wanted to go into the shows just a little bit. I mean,
Sure.
living in Vegas has been one of the greatest things ever because of Axl's, affection for Vegas and all the residency shows he did at the Hard Rock. I was at the last show at the Hard Rock that featured the Ashba, Bumblefoot, Stinson lineup. And then, yeah, I mean, the first show in 2016, the first 2 shows after the Troubadour show were just like the greatest moments, some of the greatest musical moments of my life. So I just want to throw that in there.
No, I appreciate that because those are, what, as we do these review shows, it's given me ideas for things that I should have done a long time ago to do review shows of those, legendary House of Blues shows, things like that. And yeah, I'm jealous. Those are the things I would go to Vegas for, to kind of kick off to reiterate what I kicked off with, that, yeah, I'm not a big gambler. I play fantasy football, maybe not this year. I think my friends finally just said enough. They all have kids. None of them pay attention. They've all given up. But I was not a gambler, but so I would see the shows. If I lived near Vegas, or if I had the means, if I was as cool as Mike to travel like this, then yeah, I would go to Vegas all the time to see them. Because yeah, they've had legendary shows there. Absolutely.
Yeah, plenty of stuff to do in Vegas without gambling now. And there's just so much. So yeah, if you ever come on down, I'd be happy to host you and take you to some great restaurants.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And so that leads me to ask then, since you are more of the Vegas veteran, I guess. Mike, was that your first time in Vegas, or was this your first time?
Second time, actually. I forgot to mention. In 2019, I was the last 2 shows in Vegas in November, first and second.
Same.
I was at those
Okay.
as well. I assume he was as well.
Yep.
See, I love that. The connecting, like, yeah, there's a sea of people. You know who you go with, or if you go solo, but you have share experiences because you look around people. Oh, we're all singing along together, but you don't know them. So these are, especially now with everyone with a mask on.
Yeah, and
So
those Coliseum shows were really special just because it was a smaller venue,
Yeah.
and see them play Shadow of Your Love and all that stuff was really cool.
yeah, I want them to put that back in the set list.
I know, me
love
too.
Brought back
that
that,
song.
they played Dead Horse Boat. It was nice too. That was cool.
Yep.
What song was that? I'm sorry, I did miss that.
Dead Horse. They played both
Dead
both
Horse.
in Vegas last in 2019.
Nice. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
they,
See,
they didn't play it this time, but
I'll say this. I just spoke to the rep for, or one of the publicists for Wolfgang Van Halen, and he's been to some shows, obviously, and he's like it's like everyone is like, it's just getting along, and it's such a great mood, and everyone's just like in such a great, having a great time where everyone's I don't know, it's just like, this is just a great tour. To keep using that word, I can't think of another adjective at this moment, but I want more adjectives from you, because Philip, as the I guess more of the Vegas veteran, obviously, I wouldn't even say guess, you are more of the Vegas veteran. You've seen them, all these different venues, but this would be the first time in this new venue.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
made me think of a Wolfgang and Mammoth now, because of all those headlines, those clickbait headlines, that Guns N' Roses was the first rock band to play. It's Allegiant Stadium, right?
Yeah.
No, technically it would be Mammoth, WVH, right?
That's right.
Technically. So no respect. So I acknowledge that Mammoth, Wolfgang, the first rock band ever to play Allegiant Stadium. So how is it? How is that stadium? Because obviously I have no idea.
Yeah, so I've actually been there twice before. I did a tour of the stadium, and then I was there for a special dinner event.
Oh,
And the stadium's beautiful. I mean, the locker rooms where Axel posted the pictures of those jerseys.
Raider jerseys.
Yeah, kind of is just a small glimpse into just how amazing the venue is. And I was a little worried about what was going to happen during the show, because I don't know if you heard, a week before was WWE SummerSlam, which was a literal shit show, because the POS system crashed, so no one could buy anything because it's a cashless venue, and then toilets started overflowing all over the venue.
I didn't know this, and I'm a wrestling fan. Wow.
Yeah. So there were people were chanting, "We want beer, we want beer," and so I was a little worried about what was going to happen during this show.
Huh. Okay. Wow. I can't believe I didn't hear that. So now I understand what you say by literal shit show. Oh,
Yeah.
awful. All right. So then you had your worries, but I guess, I don't know. I guess when you start something, you're gonna have your little kinks, but you can't. I'm sorry. Axel's not gonna put up with it.
No,
You know.
no. But they set it up great. Venue was awesome, and I love that it's super close to my place.
So did you both get there early enough to see Mammoth?
I did, yeah. They were awesome. I was looking forward to that. I'd never seen them before, and that was one of the acts I was looking, because the openers of GNR are hit or miss, but I was definitely looking forward to Wolfgang. That
Okay. Any like as highlights there? Because I know we're all kind of learning the album, but
I
it's,
caught the set list from the guitar player. That was a pretty good highlight.
Oh, nice.
I like that. I in addition, because I mean everybody and their mother wants to interview Wolfgang, but I got to get Frank Sidoris on the show. I mean that's just one of those overdue, and Todd Kearns is down to do the episode with him, so that would be cool to kind of get part of the conspirators on the show. But again, that's
Todd is looking
potentially
awesome.
that. Yeah, we'll see. Just putting it out there in the ether. And by the way, if there's a dog attacking you or a child, and that's okay. Sorry. I turned. That's the problem with video. I get distracted.
Drinking, grabbing beer. That's all.
Oh, enjoy yourself. Sit back,
Good.
relax. That's what I want. So,
So,
all right, cool.
Yeah,
So
I had a
go ahead,
fucked up
Phil.
story with getting into the stadium. They actually closed off my section where I purchased a ticket. So I needed to go to Will Call, which was a gigantic line, to get a new ticket to go back into the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it took me over an hour to get in, and I could not believe, with the e-tickets and everything, couldn't they just like move my seat online or on the app instead of giving me a hard ticket and not explaining to me that it was on the floor and I need to go somewhere else to get a bracelet. and all this other crazy shit. So I thought that was pretty unorganized, and I only caught maybe last 3 songs of Mammoth.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
so
not.
you got a hard ticket?
So I had an e-ticket, and then when I scanned it, the security, they're like, you need to go to will call, something's happened with your seat. And then I stood in this gigantic line for like 45 minutes, and then they gave me a hard ticket onto the floor later on. Yeah, but it was really, I was super pissed off by the time I got to the seat.
Me too, man.
Yeah, really annoying.
Did they say why your original section was closed off?
Well, the place wasn't sold out. I mean, I would say maybe 80%. What do you think, Michael? 85?
Well, from during Wolfgang, they started gradually trickling in. I'm thinking people might have been in your boat too, where they're kind of delayed getting in. But
Yeah.
I mean, the upper decks look kind of empty. I mean, kind of spacious. But then as it came time for GNR to come on, I noticed it was filling in pretty deep. So
Yeah.
I didn't get the count. I didn't look up the attendance, but
Yeah, so I always usually try to get a seat as close to the floor, but still having a seat on Slash's side.
gotcha.
But for some reason, they just decided to close off that section. Everyone I was sitting with on the floor was from that section.
Was it obstructive view maybe? Because I know there was one section kind of there towards the walls here, and you're kind of like, maybe that was the issue. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just guessing.
I don't know. But it wasn't a better seat per se, but it was still fine. I mean, as soon as the It's So Easy kicks off, like, I don't care anymore. So
Yeah.
Michael, did you have any issues like that with your seat? Where were you?
No, well, I was in the pit. I actually, for me, I was actually kind of lazy. I rolled up in the Uber like at 4:45. I got in line, and the second the gates opened, I got in and just ran right to the pit. Actually, I was, Margot from FanSpot.
Yes.
I said hi to her. I said, hey, how you doing? I was like, hey, do you know where the stickers are? She goes, hey, can you go get mine for me? I was like, so I went to the merch booth, got me and her the stickers of the passport. And then she held me a spot right behind her on the rail. So there's like Margot in the front, right on the rail, and me right behind her. And we're like dead center, slightly left. So I'm right between Axel and Duff, and like dead shot to Izzy. So like it's freaking awesome photos.
Nice.
cool.
Man, one of these days, I don't even know if I can handle that close. Does it, when you're that close, I don't know, like, what's the GNR crowd like? You know what? Here we're at the beginning then. When It's So Easy hits, are you getting smushed? Like, what is it? What is it like?
No, I mean, as the night goes on, people do try to get ahead of you. But I mean, my first pit experience was El Paso, and I was like, I gotta try to pit at least once, right? I was like, I'll hang in the back, no big deal. We got in and said, screw it, I'm going for the rail. I did the rail in El Paso and San Antonio. It's a totally different experience, especially in 2017 with the catwalk. When you're right there and there's Axel and like Duff right above you, it's a totally different experience. Like, you owe it to yourself to do it at least once.
Yeah, that's why the Axel DC at MSG will always be like, I don't know if another concert could be that, because there was the catwalk. I mean, and I had never been that close, so it was something else. But I get not having the catwalk now. I mean, it really is a toned down.
It's COVID now. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me too much. But I guess, yeah, if you were used to that, and now it's a kind of a different experience. It's still being that close, but still.
Oh, no complaining. I'm just saying it's a different experience. But I mean, no,
I get it.
The stage itself was a little further back. I'm sure it was because of COVID, but I got no complaints. I couldn't ask for a better night. It was awesome.
So then what were the highlights? We all know, there are some changes in the set list now. I don't want to hear that they don't, but we all know the beginning and the end. But when It's So Easy hits, what were some of the highlights for you throughout the set list? Spoiler alert,
Okay.
Scotto.
Well, I mean, I'd never heard Absurd live, so obviously I was waiting to hear that. That was awesome. I mean, I got no complaints. Everything was great. I love the Slithers, and I know Slither is mixed reviews, but I love both bands. And that's, I mean, I see as Velvet Revolver's 3/5 GNR. That's how I look at it. So I love that that's in there. I love that they slipped Madagascar in the encore. To me, better Madagascar never get old. I could listen to those songs forever.
How does it feel seeing Slash play those songs? Because it was just the anniversary of their 2002 VMA performance. And that was, I mean, you know what? I'll ask, where were you? When it's kind of one of those GNR things. You remember where you were, right?
I do remember. It's not a great story. I was living at home. I was at college, living at my parents' house. sit on the couch, watch the VMAs. I remember getting so when they came out, being so excited. And I love GNR. Don't take this the wrong way, but it was not a great performance. I mean, I'm one of the biggest Axel defenders in the world. But
hey, at least they were on.
Oh, Philip, are you freezing? Oh no, Phil, he froze in a very unfortunate
freeze frame.
situation.
I want to get his thoughts on that. That was.
I know. So you know what? He's back, I think now, or he
Yeah.
just moved. That's okay, Phil. That's Zoom. That's the way it is.
Let
Phil,
me disconnect and connect. Sorry.
Oh, good, buddy. Oh, good. I could pause it and make it like live radio, or make it like a podcast, but I like it to be like live radio. I mean, I already told my story of, you know, I won't go into it. I mean, because I certainly was like I don't want to call myself a loser, but I was not great with the ladies growing up. I was very shy. But at this particular time, during the VMAs, I was being amorous with my then girlfriend, and we both stopped to watch. Like, we were that big of GNR fans that we stopped. So I probably
Sorry,
said
guys.
too much. No, that's all right. I was going over my TMI story of, I don't know if you remember, I shared it early on in the podcast.
There's my story.
Yeah, I guess. I guess because I just don't want to. I'm not that guy. Oh, I like to brag. No. It's just factual. Like, we heard Jimmy Fallon go Guns N' Roses, and we're like, what? Just to put it, you know, mildly. And yeah, it wasn't a great. It wasn't a great performance, but at that time, I don't think, until somebody pointed it out, like Patton Oswalt, the comedian, and then becoming a part of the community, I didn't break down Axel's performances like that. Like, it was Guns N' Roses, and I enjoyed it. And
I was happy to see him. I was more bummed that like nothing came for a long time. I was like, oh, he's back in. Where'd he go? I was like,
sure. So Phil, and there's a reason why I'm bringing up this date. So where were you now when that happened, 2000?
So I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I had been listening to the Rock in Rio, set list for a while since then. So I was super stoked when they started playing Madagascar after Welcome to Jungle, and yeah, never forget it. Never forget it. And yeah,
I think it was the 29th, I want to say, of August. So it's August 29th of 2002 is when it happened. But the reason I bring it up now, I mean, it's also cool to just talk about that with you guys. That at that time, the first time I heard Madagascar, I remember saying to my then girlfriend, I'm like, what is this song? I'm like, is this a weird version of November Rain? Just because it was slowed down, you know, there's a lot of keys. And she's like, this isn't November Rain. I'm like, what is this? I was really a noob, as the nerds say. I didn't really didn't know about Chinese democracy so much yet. That's when it all started, maybe. That's where I saw Buckethead playing. This weird guy, Robin Fink. Say that again, Mike.
I'm sorry, that's the first time I ever saw Buckethead, and I was like, "Who's that tall guy with the bucket?"
Like, what? I'm like, is that Slash? Like, wait, why is he dressed like that? Because they both had the big bushy hair. You know, I didn't understand it. And to go from that, we all, again, that's the point of bringing it up now. We all remember that performance, whatever you think about it. And to where we are now, that Slash is playing Madagascar. What? So is it? It's still hard, and I'm honest. I became such a Buckethead fan, and you listen. That's what music is. You fall in love with the way it's played. It's just weird. It's different for me hearing Slash play that. Whereas I like when he does what he did on Absurd or what he did on Silkworms, but hearing him play This I Love, I don't know. I prefer the original solo. So I'm just curious what you guys think.
This I Love, I'm with you on that. I remember in 2016, Slash, when he played the solo, he hit it pretty close. But then on the later legs, he kind of strummed through it. And I mean, I love that Robin Fink solo. It's just, you can't, I just love that solo. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, go. Yeah, I agree with you. Robin Fink solo on This I Love is my favorite solo on the album. And, you know, it's really hit or miss with Slash on that solo. And maybe that's why it's not in the set list anymore. I don't know. But
maybe.
But if I love, you know, Slash and Duff playing the Chinese democracy stuff, I'd absolutely be fine with them just doing Chinese democracy front to back with this lineup. And then that'd be the show. So
wouldn't that be something? I never thought about that, Philip.
Yeah. Like, why have they not played Street of Dreams? To me, it's like Use Your Illusion 2-ish, and Slash could play it. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, that would be my number one request of songs they haven't played would be Street of Dreams, because that's the Buckethead solo, the Think solo. Oh my god, dude! Like,
Yeah.
You're,
I think you
you're,
do great on that one. So,
you're right.
um,
Because that's a song I never heard live. I would love to hear that live. Oh my God. That's one of my favorites on the record.
yeah.
And yeah, to have this band, because it goes back to, I guess, my point of why he was playing such long. This was a separate conversation I had. Sometimes my conversations mix. The Axel, I believe that he pre-COVID, while he was doing like 3.5 hour shows. I mean, he's always a showman, but I feel like he's just trying to make up for lost time. Like, and he just wants to like squeeze as much GNR out for all of us to enjoy what we can. I don't know. That's my fanboy, thought of like why. But
I
it's
concur.
right. Like, is
Yeah.
it because it's just like why? But it's just like
Sorry, my
now.
dogs.
No, that's okay. Better off with my cats. I made sure my cat GB had enough treats because he's the one that likes to walk over my mixer. Oh, for some reason, he always hits the button that shuts off the sound. There's like 500 buttons behind me. He hits the one every freaking time that I can't hear. Like, why, dude? Why? So I even forget what my point was. But Mike, did you give us like your highlights? Because I think that's where we started with this. Your favorite songs that you. Oh well. Phil was on pause, but we'll go back to
Yeah.
because I want to go back to this band playing Chinese Democracy and cool things like that. But Mike, did you give us your? Oh, by the way, did you prefer Mike or Michael? I don't want to assume. I don't want to get
Either
too
or,
fresh.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
It
All
doesn't
right.
matter at all.
All right. MD. So,
All right.
what were your highlights then? What were your
Well, I'll say
other than
definitely
absurd?
Absurd and Madagascar. I mean, all the Appetite songs. I mean, I always love. I mean, they're in every set list, but I love Rocket Queen. I love Night Train. Paradise City is always bittersweet because it's awesome, but you know the show is over. So I mean, it kind of sucks at the same time.
I like that. It's very true because even when the show is very long, it's like, damn, it's over. Like, that's over. So Philip, back to you with I like your idea of this band. I mean, imagine that Guns N' Roses would do that before Appetite, before Use Your Illusion, which is the 30th anniversary this year. Let's play Chinese Democracy front to back. That's what this band will do.
Right, for all the GNR nerds like us. Yeah.
I know they just do. You
Up
hear
close and
rumors.
personal, whole album. Let's do it.
Let's play the Spaghetti Incident front to back.
I'm down.
I would love it too. We all would love it, but I don't know. It's curious. You know what? Maybe I'll get your perspective on this, Philip. We're obviously in the certain percentile of Guns N' Roses fans' knowledge and everything, but when you go to these shows, yeah, Michael, you're with Margot and all those other diehards, but I'm talking about really look around the other fans. I mean, wouldn't you say the majority of the people there are just like the average rock fan that doesn't know?
Unfortunately, you are right. Yes.
I mean, I
Not
don't
in
know.
the pit, but in the seating area, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think, and I've said I believe that dictates the set list. With songs that we're sick of, the majority of people aren't. That's
Right.
kind of in radio. So, what was the vibe like there? So I wanted to know that you answered one of the questions that it was a lot of what most shows are. The diehards go, but it's full of just rock fans all over. So, was it this how I've experienced where it's young kids to old people? What was the personnel like, I guess, of the
It was
audience?
pretty multi-generational. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this music stood the test of time. So it's really cool to see, parents and the kids go. But I think the energy was really high in the show, just because it was, for a lot of the people in Vegas, it was the first time seeing a concert in God knows how long. And it was awesome.
Anything regarding COVID that they had?
So Allegiant is, for the Raiders games, you have to show proof of vaccination and wear a mask during the game. But this show had been on sale for so long already that they just said you had to wear a mask, but nobody was really, policing it or anything. A couple of security people were, but it wasn't. People were pretty much unmasked.
They kind of were in the pit because I remember like, they would yell at you with a mask on. Like the girl next to me, she kept taking hers off. She got yelled at a couple of times.
Okay.
Me, I had mine like down here, but they didn't say anything to me.
Right. Well, maybe if you're that close to Axel, then yeah.
Good point. I was just gonna say if you're that close in proximity to somebody, if like it really makes that much of a difference, I guess, whether you're in a seat or but yeah, that's to get Axel.
When you sing every song, you
don't
pull
get
the
Axel
mask
sick.
tired.
Mike, if you got Axel COVID, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I know, right? Right. But going back to the audience, yeah, it's a general audience that's just waiting for, You Could Be Mine and Sweet Child of Mine, November Rain, all that stuff. So
what were your personal highlights? What were your favorites?
I thought that night's version of Chinese Democracy was a real burner. Double Chalk and Jives Slash's solo was unbelievable. And kind of like the second part of the slow version of You're Crazy, which Axel just turned it up and blew up the mic. Those were some of my favorite things of the show for sure.
Cool. So then who did you go with? Because you were telling me off the air, or I forget if it was off the air or on the air. I don't even know where I am anymore. It's the apocalypse. So you're lucky I'm able to speak, which sometimes is debatable. Your wife doesn't like Guns N' Roses. So what does your wife like then musically? If she doesn't like Guns N' Roses?
Pop. I mean, we saw Usher a couple weeks ago, stuff like that. So
do you bond on anything? Is there any band or artist you bond on?
Not really. Like, it's weird. I was thinking about this prior to the podcast. My friendship connections are rarely because of music. And I don't know why that is, but I pretty much go to the shows by myself. I don't, specifically with Guns N' Roses, I don't want to go with a casual fan when they're playing Catcher in the Rye and they're like, what the fuck is this? And I don't want to hear that shit. So, I just want to go by myself and have the experience. I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not getting a beer. I just want to see the show and just enjoy it for myself. I don't want, any of that other stuff. So I rarely go with friends. There's a couple people who are bigger GNR fans that they'll fly to Vegas, like my friend Jimmy from Seattle. But otherwise, I'm going by myself pretty much every time. All the residency shows in Hard Rock, I went by myself. I just don't want to talk to anybody.
I like you, Philip. Michael, because you went by yourself too. So is it do you feel how Philip's feeling? Do you just not want to go with anybody else? Or
no, these tickets are kind of pricey. So I mean, you start getting pit tickets and dates get very expensive. But I mean, I love to go to any kind of show, honestly. And my attitude is that if I waited for someone to join me, I would never go. So I mean, I want to see everything I can see. We could all die tomorrow. I want to see. Okay, if I die tomorrow, okay, I rest in peace. I saw GNR 11 times.
Hell yeah.
I like you too, Michael. Look at this. You were the right guys to do this episode of Vegas. Anything else that stood out to you, I guess, from this show? I mean,
I saw, I think Sebastian Bach was there. I saw Eddie Trunk and Chris Jericho was double fisting some beards and getting mobbed. So
he was actually there?
They were just sitting in regular seats, like all those guys. So it was kind of weird.
I saw Jericho was in Vegas, but I didn't see anything posted at GNR.
He was double fisting 2 beers, just kind of walking, and everyone's trying to get a selfie with him. And then, he was kind of maybe first 2 rows behind the pit.
Okay. Yeah, because that's funny. I'm actually going to the Jericho cruise. I went the last time, I'm going this one in October. And actually, it's a kind of GNR segue. Paradise Kitty's playing 3 shows in that show. The all-female tribute.
Yeah. They're great. We've had Rachel Ryan and Genocide, which it took me a second to be like, oh, Genocide. I'm an idiot. Both just great, great people.
Yeah.
And hopefully I've invited them, or Michael, maybe you want to play, grease the wheel a little bit.
I will.
Obviously, everybody and their mother wants to interview Chris Jericho. I mean, I've started to get wrestlers on the show. Come on, let's go.
Drew McIntyre, I listened to that one. That was a good one, dude. That blew me away.
I shout out to Drew McIntyre because to show what an awesome dude he is. I mean, he didn't have to follow me on Twitter. I mean, I'm not like that because I've heard other radio people ask who they've interviewed to follow them on social media. Bro, I don't even like asking my friends to follow me. I just can't do that. So the fact that he followed me and yeah, you guys know probably since you're fans of the podcast. Thank you. That my Twitter was suspended for sharing my own concert videos. Live and learn, I guess. But I'm just trying to get that back. Whatever I can do to get that back. Obviously, the amount of followers that I lost, and thankfully, I'm not too popular where it's like some insurmountable number. But I refollowed Drew McIntyre, and you can only DM him if you follow each other. So I couldn't DM him and saying like, maybe like, hey, can you follow me? I just responded to one of his tweets, and he followed me back.
That's cool.
So thank you, Drew. So he's a fan for life. I liked him before, but I'm always gonna be rooting for him to win the championship. So right on. So yeah, and also he's also friends with Paradise Kitty, Dolph
So was
Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. He was at the kitty show I went to in Arizona.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. He actually tweeted yesterday, and I didn't get a response from him. Oh, this is a nice also little segue you guys will appreciate. So he tweeted the lyrics of Get in the Ring, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
So he would be perfect on this show. You guys know it. Like he would be so fun to talk Guns N' Roses with. And sometimes it's Twitter. Some celebrities respond, some don't. So Duff was it at the Vegas show? What was Duff wearing at the Vegas show? What shirt was he wearing? Do you remember?
I'd say I checked my pictures, but my phone's on the camera. He was wearing black. I can't remember what it said. Oh no, I can't remember.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was just a black shirt with some white logo. I don't remember.
But it wasn't the Ice-T shirt, was it?
No. I remember now. It was the John Rambo mugshot.
Okay. By the way, very subtle.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Subtle shout outs to the T-shirt wearing of this band. Like that's always just like, what T-shirt are they wearing today?
The Axl shirt. He had like a blue Rolling Stones light at the very end when he changed.
Okay,
that was pretty nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did see pictures of that. Yeah. Oh, and also side note, I too many side notes. You guys got me talking GNR.
I love it
on a GNR podcast. I don't want to get too distracted. So going back to Paradise Kitty, I'm just trying to retrace my steps. Oh yeah, so with Ice-T, somebody sent him a picture of Duff wearing an Ice-T shirt.
I saw that.
Yeah, and Duff retweeted it. Because they've been friends forever. If you listen to any of those Ernie C interviews, he talks about the friendship not just with him and Duff, but Duff and Ice-T. And I commented on Ice, would love to talk to you about Guns N' Roses one day on a podcast. And he liked it.
The Hookers and Blow, they covered Body Count on it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they covered the winners lose.
Okay, that's cool. But I mean, Ice-T liked my tweet, so I mean, it's not as cool as covering a song, but he acknowledged my existence. So sorry, your smile, Phil, is getting to me. You're so happy to be here. You say
I'm super happy to be here. I never talk about Guns N' Roses with anybody, so this is awesome.
I was like, save it for air. He's like, my wife doesn't understand me. My brother, he's like, got me into it. So wait, where's your brother then? Did he want to be how come you didn't go with your brother if he got you into the podcast?
He listens to podcasts more than I do. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he would love to be on. He subscribes. He's been texting me nonstop throughout this this episode because I sent him a screenshot of just us on Zoom. He wants to discuss best GNR ballads. And he's already given me a top 5.
What's his top 5? Just we can do a top 5.
5, he said, Don't Cry. 4, he said, Patience. 3 is 1 in a Million. 2 is November Rain, and 1 was Estranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let his top 5 reign because I mean, I like that. We'll occasionally do that. I mean, I do that for social media top, whatever your favorites, but I want to make sure his top and 1 in a Million. I like your response. It's like, yeah. I mean, speaking of episodes I've done, especially the one with Roberta Friedman where we spoke about it, it's musically a great song. Obviously, the lyrics are questionable. I will always err on the side of it's Axl telling a story with very harsh words. He is not a racist. Anybody you speak to, including Roberta Friedman or Ernie C or any of the Afro-American people who've been on the show, say how he treats them. Anybody, women, like it's the Axl you read about is not the Axl I hear about. And it's not just on the pod. I don't get it off the air. I don't, including from Doug, who I'm writing the book with. Like, I don't hear it. So I don't maybe want to defend 1 million in the public with the general Guns N' Roses fan, because that just might be a losing battle. But with you guys here, at least right now, I think it's like reading a book. Just
Oh,
be
it's the
prepared.
perspective of a young kid from Indiana who's like, the world's new to him. That's how I take it.
That's how I do too. So, but if you're Roberta, say, you know what, I don't want somebody who's not representative of the people. It's talking about it. Okay, sure. But I think that's a whole other conversation. Which I guess we've had.
Right. Shout out to my brother for that. Also, if you could choose one GN'R song to play for the next show, any song, what would you guys want to hear?
Well, Michael, you said Street of Dreams, correct?
Street Dreams.
Yeah.
I just want to hear, pretty tied up at this point. Just be able to sing along to it is something I want to be
That's
able
a good
to do.
choice.
Yeah, it's the songs that I've always sung along to, whether it's on a CD or it's off Napster or now off Spotify or iHeart, whatever. I just want the opportunity to sing along with them, and it's just not yet, but I'm not going to complain. I mean, who would have thought, as we spoke about 2002 in this episode, who thought we would be here at all? So I'm not going to, take anything really for granted. I'm just trying to think. Did I leave anything else on the table, like side stories? I don't think so, because I spoke about Dolph Ziggler, because I want to get him on the show. That would be great. I'm just trying to, because I know you guys, you're Phil, his smile is getting to me.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. I love it. It's I'm feeding off it, but it's making me smile. It's contagious. So if you want to follow on YouTube and see Philip's smile.
Michael, did it bother you that there was no pyro in the show?
Nah, not at all. Oh, sorry, my alarm's going off.
No one says that, right? No one cares.
I mean, I only missed it, I guess, during I only noticed it wasn't there during Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't bother me at all. I mean,
Yeah, and then even the confetti for Paradise City, but it's all right.
I didn't realize that he just mentioned, honestly. I forgot.
Yeah. And so I love the fact that you both went by yourselves in your meeting here. So then, Michael, where does this rank for you? You said you've seen 11 shows.
Yeah. Experience-wise, it was pretty damn good, because I mean, I even caught Duff's wristband. That was awesome. So experience-wise, I want to say it ranks 1 or 2. But as far as the set list, I got to give it to the Forum show, because they played 8 Chinese democracy songs that night. It was almost 4 hours, and they broadcast on Sirius, so I got some audio of it. But I mean, as far as overall fun experience, it's top notch. So, I mean, I can't say anything bad about it.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for you,
Yeah.
man.
If there was a show I regret not going to, it was that Forum show in 2017. Like, holy shit, that set list was just, amazing.
What about you, Philip? Like, how many shows have you been to total?
Oh God, I mean, probably with the residency shows, probably 30.
Wow.
So
And Mike bows out.
no, I'm not, and it's not trying to.
No, say it.
I would have done it if I could. I would have.
This band means so much to me, and I just want to see him as much as possible. So,
and also Philip's first time was 91.
Yeah.
Right. So that's for me, I have an excuse. I was 8. I think I saw I saw the Ninja Turtles on Radio City when they're coming out of their Shells tour. I think that was as far as my concert.
Yeah, I saw it at the Patriot Center, Virginia. Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
Awesome. How old of a dude, if you don't mind me asking, how old of a dude are you, Mike?
I'm 39.
Oh, all right. So I'll be 38 in a week. Philip, what about you?
I'm a bit older. I'm 44. So I was 15 when that show in 91. And it took a lot to beg my parents to go, because, strict Asian parents and coming from Boston, rock shows are not necessarily the top of the list for their kids to go to. And just super thankful they let it happen. And it was amazing.
I'm glad you stuck with it. And just like you're not going to deny my fandom. I'm going to be on Appetite for Distortion in 30 years or whatever.
Oh, this is the highlight of my GNR existence.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. So where, it doesn't have to rank 1 or 2. I get it. Where does this rank for you? I think
to me, probably top 10, lower tier top 10, just because it was my first real show in 2 years. I mean, who would have thought it would be at Allegiant Stadium, and just the energy of the crowd. So that's really what kind of stuck out for me. I mean, getting in the show was a pain in the ass, but as soon as the music starts, it was great.
That's awesome. And that's what I've been getting from these reviews. I'm not going, am I saying this off the air? Being like, I'm not a GNR homer, being like, make sure you give them a good review. Don't say this, don't say that. I'm like, be honest about your time. And everyone's saying they have a great time. And I think that I also tweeted this on the new Twitter at the AFD podcast, that the people who make fun of Axel or GNR are the ones that spell Axel with an E, whether before or after the L. Like, just, it's 3 letters. He's been famous for decades. So, don't blame voice to text. Don't blame spell check. Fix it. If you want to insult Axel, AXL. That's it. But the people who go are having great times.
Yeah.
You know, and those who have been to several shows, Mike, 11 is nothing to sneeze at. I'm one who's I host a GNR podcast. I've been to 7, you know, I think 7. And Philip, you know, it's funny you say 30, because Michael, you brought up before, her name is Margot. She runs that great fan spot on Facebook.
That was her 99 show, with the Vegas one.
I was about to say,
number 9.
I sometimes ask her about, like, hey, do you have any fan recommendations? She goes to all these shows, any recommendations about people who want to do these reviews? And she mentioned, you know, I'm approaching 100, but there are people who are just well past her. You know, if I have the means, you know, if I could Grateful Dead this band, sure, I would do that. So I've talked about that. Hopefully the Atlantic City show goes down in price. Well, let me see if I can give this person a shout out too. Lori Martini, who is a Q1043 listener, she heard me on the air. I don't talk much when I'm there. I'm just a producer. But whenever Guns N' Roses is played, they talk to me. So this week we're actually giving away tickets to the Atlantic City show, which I believe also include a stay at the Hard Rock.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
So she heard Jim Kerr talking to me. He's the host of the show in the Radio Hall of Fame. And, you know, about the podcast and everything. He's like, you excited? You know, for today, we're giving away Guns N' Roses tickets. Can I win them? No, I'm kind of excited. I'm excited for the listen. So what we did was, there's something every Monday that we just play a song backwards for maybe like 5 seconds. And we put in It's So Easy. And it was gotten pretty quick. It's So Easy. But Lori found me on Facebook. Facebook / at the AFD show. She found me at Facebook. I just heard you on Q. You know, I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to win tickets. I can never get through. Me and my friend Beth, you know, we just saw them in Jersey, but I'm like, I'm 5 foot and I couldn't see over anybody. I keep trying. She's calling at the same time. I'm like, keep trying. You know, if I stumble upon tickets, I will let you know. And today I wake up to a message that she won them this morning from Q1043. Nice. So that makes me feel good. So that's something else to us radio people really like. The people that really want to win, not just the people who call up, hey, what did I call in for? Who are just like, here, win now, and they just call. There are those people. What did I win? What did I win tickets to again? No. No, congratulations, Lori. And, you know, congratulations, you guys. You know, I love this. That's why I want to go to Atlantic City. That's why I want to maybe go to Baltimore, is to meet more people like you. And it's such a great vibe. And while this apocalypse, this bullshit is going on around us, you know, it's what a world we're living in. And thankfully, you know, GNR touring, you know, there was maybe some worry that Mammoth wouldn't be allowed back on the tour with COVID. But GNR was very cool, from what I understand, was with them. Get home, they get some rest, where, you know, just the band, everyone get tested, and then come back, you know, in a week.
Yeah, I was bummed. I was like, God, I hope they make it back in time for Vegas.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're still trekking along as people continue to cancel, and I want everyone just to be as safe as they can. I know the mask thing is hard. Maybe it made me, I didn't mind wearing my mask as much because it was a Guns N' Roses mask. They may sound so stupid. Well, I like your hair, by the way.
Thank you,
Michael.
It's custom.
That's awesome.
Okay. You have the GNR old school Chinese democracy with the stars above it on a mask. Yeah. I like that. Very cool.
That's what I wore tonight.
Good. and I have that appetite for vaccination.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was, I always got to give credit, and even eventually Guns N' Roses and Fernando themselves gave credit, I believe, to Franz and Roses. Yes, the cross is the original cross, but Franz photoshopped all the masks on them, and GNR even retweeted it or shared it, which they rarely do with fans. But somebody on Amazon was making it, and I told Franz about this. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it's still there. It's actually a good mask. It really is. It's like,
Is that the one with the updated cross of Melissa and Dizzy and everyone on there?
no, it's just
Okay.
a regular. It's just the actual cross with their masks, and it says appetite for vaccination across the top and the bottom. I would get up and share it, but it might be being in the wash, or just put up a bandana over, and it's like you're doing like Guns N' Roses cosplay in a way. Yeah, wearing a mask sucks. It does, and I'm telling you, pre-COVID, people are gross. Okay, somebody who's not like I take the subway often, especially not now. I never take it, but when I did, or just people in New York, I'm sorry, maybe people in Vegas are different. People are disgusting. They sneeze. My fiance, she'll never listen. I don't understand her concept of sneezing. It's like my cat. She is just, it's just like lets it go. So we outside our hallway, like outside our door, it's just a hallway of just like our apartment condo complex. And when she'll throw out the garbage, she goes to sneeze, it echoes. Roo, 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 achoo, achoo. It's just cover your mouth. So she wears a mask, she vaccinated everyone, but she's just, I don't know why she doesn't do that. So there are people like that exist. So wear a mask if you can, as long as, Guns N' Roses, let them keep touring, because obviously it's bringing a lot of good memories to people. So let me ask this, as I got to wrap up soon, as I'm going to keep this real. I'm going to interview with Eric Martin from Mr. Big. That's coming up. Also,
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. I want to be with him. I'm not going to make that joke with him. I'm not going to make that joke. I got it out now. But I want to ask of fans who come on. I'll start with you, Michael, since you're the one playing a little bit of show and tell here with your shirt, your dyslexic set list behind you, the Zoom.
That's the filter. That's all it is.
What is your favorite piece of Guns N' Roses memorabilia?
Well, I don't know, do tattoos count? Or,
Sure. Yeah.
I got a Chinese dragon with the
Oh,
GN'R.
damn.
So,
Are you able to show it, or is it
a little hairy, but yeah.
Whatever?
Oh, damn.
The green, I can get it. The green screen took it away a little bit, but that's still very cool.
But I mean, I like unique stuff. I figured I figured everyone has a no bullet logo, so I want to do something different. And plus, I don't think color ink would look good on me, so that's why I stuck with the black and white.
I respect that thinking too, because I think I may have shown at some time before. I don't know if I could do it now, but my first tattoo was, let me know, shout out my ear if you can hear it, because I got to turn away from the, if you can see it, 'cause I got to turn away from the mic. Oh yeah, well, you can kind of see it. Use your illusion, boy.
Oh yeah,
shoulder blade.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's badass.
So I got that when I was 21. It's faded. I mean, it's still a little bit, has the red about it in it, because of November Rain being my favorite song, whatever. And at some point, to be different, I will. Yeah, everyone gets to use your illusion thing. I will get the boy on the right shoulder blade, but I would like to make like across the back or the shoulder blades and tying into the shoulders like scenic, like November Rain, like a rain, kind of a, I don't know, like an atmosphere kind of situation, that kind of encapsulates that song, or maybe like a desert scene, or just something that surrounds it. But I get that. Yeah, because there are a lot of people, it's interesting, and no disrespect to them, but when they get the same exact tattoo,
Exactly.
that's always, I mean, that's cool. That's definitely cool, but I don't know. That's not for me, I guess. So that's your favorite piece of memorabilia. Then Philip, what's your favorite piece?
So my first job out of school, I got hired by Guitar World magazine, and one of the biggest things for me was to go to the NAMM show to meet Slash. And so I brought the cassette that my brother and I played nonstop growing up, and he signed the cassette itself and the sleeve, and that's my most prized possession for sure.
Awesome, very cool. So I had to adjust this question, I think, because when you ask favorite song, people are like, "Oh, favorite song." I don't know. So, what's your favorite song today, Philip? What's your favorite Guns N' Roses song today? Oh, it is. It's today. What are you feeling?
Today, I'm feeling There Was a Time. I love the solo, love the song. I wish they was still in the set list. That's what I'm feeling today.
That's something too. And now go back to what we were speaking about before, whether it's songs you want to hear live. And also when I was saying for me, it's a little weird. I'll use that word to hear Slash play other people's solos. And those Buckethead solos, it's just, man, I don't know. That needs to be played exactly like the record. And if it's not, that's going to be ruined for me. That's just, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me.
I agree. And if I were to be a little critical of that show at Allegiant, was Slash's solo Better was probably not the best. That was probably my only minus in the show.
All right. You're allowed to have it. This is America still, I think. Michael, what about you? What's your favorite song today? What are you feeling?
Today, this is because I got off work this morning and I was listening to GN'R live there in my car, but the live version of Rocket Queen, the extended this. Because I play a little bass, I'm still learning, but I can listen to that all day.
I like it. Okay. It's also a unique answer.
That's a badass song on bass.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Keep us updated with your progress.
All right.
All right. So Philip, Michael, this was really fun. I can do radio. I've just put through I'm not going to bore you guys with another one of my stories, but I've just been put through the ringer in my career. And I've gotten to a point where I believe I can do radio with anybody. However, there are people who make it easier, of course. And you guys made it really easy today. You're both really cool. You're obviously very passionate fans. And I can't thank you enough, not just for listening to the podcast and being fans. Again, this is just crazy to me that people actually enjoy what I'm doing. It's very flattering, but that's just me and I'm going to see my therapist tomorrow. So I'll talk about it with her tomorrow. But for you guys to volunteer, Mike and you on Facebook, Philip, you on Instagram, it makes me feel good. And it's why I can continue to do it. So just, I wanted to make sure I said that again. So thank you both for everything,
Thank you for all you do. I mean, the work that you put in, the guests that you've had on, I don't know if I said this on air or off air, but unbelievable. And I think it's essential GNR information now. It's just part of the history and yeah, keep doing it, man. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you.
I agree, man. It's like you're the professor and you have the guest lecturing every week. It's Brain this week and it'll be someone else next week.
I do my best. It hasn't been Brain in a while. And I know those who listen, it's interesting to try to navigate this Guns N' Roses world about who you can talk to and what you can talk to them about. I mean, that's also on top of how difficult it is just in general to do interviews with rock stars or authors or actors or whatever. But I've been very lucky. I don't take anything for granted. The fact that I get to speak to Eric Martin in 20 minutes and I get to speak to Jerry Cantrell tomorrow, Matt Sorum again in the future is amazing, but it's also equally incredible to have people like you from El Paso, Texas, from Vegas. Yeah, I know you're from Boston, whatever. But from Vegas and all different countries reach out to me wanting to talk about Guns N' Roses. So that's just kind of been the best part of doing this Guns N' Roses themed bar mitzvah party of a broadcast. So thanks, guys. That'll do it then for this episode of Appetite for Distortion. Remember, as we approach number 300, I'll put it out there. Fernando, let's talk, man. If I had a child, I would buy him I would buy him 10 Guns N' Roses trucks. I would read to him the Sweet Child of Mine book every night. But I don't have a kid. I have no use of those things now. So it's all love here. So yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we'll see what happens as we continue our march towards 300 and beyond on this. As we look at life through Guns and rose-colored glasses, one of my stupid phrases. So when are you going to see the next episode? Who's the next guest going to be? I named a few, but when are you going to see it? In the words of Axl Rose concerning Chinese democracy, you'll see it. I don't know if soon is a word.